Hi folks, welcome to my live workout 6 days a week during this quarantine. I'm doing simple, minimal equipment, 20-minute-ish workouts from home and sharing them with all of you. Hopefully this will give you some ideas about how to get creative with whatever equipment and space that you have. Speaking of equipment, just show you what I'm working with. I got a mat here, of course. I have a little resistance band about ½ inch in width. And for my weight, I have just a 10-pound ball. All right, so if you have a dumbbell or a kettlebell or even a bag of flour or something like that, that'll work great for what I'm going to be doing today. And hopefully you can follow along. Okay, so today is day 2 of this week, meaning I'm going to focus on upper body pull with some bent over banded rows. But before I get into that, I'm going to do a little bit of core brace and then make sure the core is ready for those bigger lifts that we'll hit later on. Okay, so 2 core exercises here that we're going to kind of superset. One of them is going to be nice and basic and pretty easy. The other one, not so much. We'll start with the easy one. Okay, so these are dead bugs. You're going to lie flat on your back for this. You're going to stick your hands up straight in the air, but you want your shoulder blades nice and nestled back against the ground here. You don't want to be reaching too high up, okay? You got your legs bent about a 90 degree. You're reaching back and reaching out with the opposite leg and arm, but you're keeping the core super tight. Big bracing breath around the spine is going to help that. You want those lower back ribs to stick to the ground. This one is great for core stability, and it's a nice healthy alternative to things like sit-ups, which can tend to put a little bit of strain on the low back. This one is much healthier for the lumbar spine. We're going to do 10 on each side here. That is 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And the other one, which is going to be considerably trickier, is a tough side plank variation called a star plank. So this plank is going to be right from the palm. If this is too tough for you, you can totally just do classic side plank from the elbow, which looks like that, okay? But star plank is going to be like so. So I'm going to get up on this arm here. I'm going to start with my ankles stacked on top of one another, nice and tight, straight line from the bottom of the feet to the top of the head. And then I'm just holding this position here. My foot doesn't have to come up too high, maybe about 12 inches above that other foot. Obviously there is a balance challenge here. You want to think ribs down the whole time. A few more seconds here. And we just kind of fold back down and lightly lower yourself to the ground. We're going to switch over on the other side. All right, bridging up from the hips, arm and leg come up, holding that nice little star shape. A few more seconds here. Helps to keep the toes pointed up, I find. And gently relax. All right, let's go back to that dead bug star plank combo one more time. Okay, reaching up, big bracing breath, 360 degrees around the spine, opposite limbs reaching out. That's 1, just like a dead bug on the ground, apparently. It's 2. I may have lost count already. That's 3, I think. 4, 5, keeping that core tight the whole time. 6, helps if you're not talking like I am. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, let's hit those star planks one more time. Then we can get into some resistance work. All right, so from the palm, once again, we want to make sure you're nice and stable before you put that other leg up in the air, okay? And we're holding that position. Get that other arm nice and high if you like, if that helps. You look more like a star this way. 5 more seconds here. And we can relax. Switching on to the other side. Gonna do that same thing. Take a minute to get stable. I like to point those toes. You want to make sure your shoulder, that supporting arm, is stacked directly over the elbow, directly over the base of the palm. Nice straight line. A few more seconds. Let's relax. Okay, now the core is nice and braced. We are going to get into 4 exercises, 3 sets of each, 10 reps of each. We're going to basically superset them. So all 4 exercises will run together, then take a little rest and hit that 2 more times. The reason I like to minimize those rest periods is to try to work that cardiovascular work in there as well, seeing as I am not running or anything of that sort. Okay, so I'm going to step on this band here. This is how I'm going to do the bent over band rows. If you just have dumbbells, then you don't have to worry about all this technical setup, okay? You can just row straight up with dumbbells, and it should be pretty clear how to do that once I show you this. I'm just gonna come forward so I'm a little bit more in sight here. So I'm standing, I'm gonna widen up my stance to get the appropriate amount of tension on that band. You notice I'm at about a 90-degree bend. I'll show you from the side. Big bracing breath in that lower back, pushing the butt back. So I'm about here, I got a nice neutral spine. I'm nice and tight in the core and the upper back, and I'm squeezing those elbows in towards my side. Bringing the elbows back, not out. Going for 10. A little bit of a pause at the top there. That's 7, 8, 9, and 10. You want to be a nice neutral spine right up to the top of your head on that one. Okay. Second thing, also going to need the band. This is going to be a banded good morning. So good mornings, you might see people doing with a bar on their back and they come up like this, or you might see them in all kinds of calisthenics classes, things like that. But this one, we're just going to use a band to accomplish that same thing. Okay, so I'm going to loop the band around my neck, upper traps there, so to speak. I'm going to keep those knees nice and soft. My arms are just by my side. I can narrow up my stance a little bit. Okay, and from here, I want to keep core tight, rib cage down. I'm going to push the butt back, keeping a nice neutral spine, and then I'm going to come forward with the hips. So I'm leading with the hips every time. Pushing the butt back, drive through the heels, and straightening up. All I'm doing there is I'm getting tall. I don't want you to think of this as bending over. Think of this as hinging at the hips. That's 6. That's 7. That's 8. Should be nice and gentle. That band just makes it a little tough right when you get to the top. Just makes it kind of tough to straighten up and get tall. That resistance comes into play. That's 10. I'm gonna get myself out of this. Then I'm gonna flip onto my back for an upper body push, which today is gonna be a banded floor press. So kind of like a mini bench press variation with a band. I got a hook through my thumbs here. You do whatever's comfortable. You might want to wrap it around your wrist, whatever. I'm going to put it behind my back, basically just underneath my shoulder blades, around my lats there, tucked underneath my elbows, okay? So that's how I'm going to start. And I got my upper arms, you see at about a 45-degree angle to my torso. I'm going to lay back, bend the knees, feet flat on the floor. Once again, that big bracing breath. I want to make sure my lower back ribs are stuck to the ground, and I'm keeping those upper arms about a 45-degree angle to the torso. Not up here and not too close in. I want to emphasize the pectorals, so I'm keeping them right about in the middle there. And from here, just pressing up to elbow lockout, but I'm keeping the shoulder blades back against the ground. 4, 5, 6, 7, nice controlled range of motion. 8, keeping the core tight. 9, and 10. All right, and last one is going to be a pretty basic squat variation, but because I hit the split squats yesterday and I'm not really focusing on squats today, I'm going to make it nice and easy by doing a squat to the box, which here is a stool. A couch will work, a chair will work, whatever you want to do. I'll show you from the side. Going to find my squat stance. How you find that is you jump up and down, you land, you twist out the heels, you twist out the toes. Now your feet should be flared a little bit, your knees are nice and soft, usually a little wider than shoulder width. That's about your squat stance. It's all good, whatever feels good. Okay? From here, holding that weight goblet style, elbows tucked nice and closed, got the core super tight, ribs down. I'm going to sit down. I'm actually going to sit down on that. And then I'm going to push the knees out as I drive through the heels. Keeping the big toes and the little toes clamping down as well. And that box or that stool is my friend. It helps to sit back on it because that means I have to use those posterior muscles. I've got to use the glutes. I've got to drive through the heels to get back up. Last one. That's the goblet squat. Okay, so you take a little breather here, get a little water if you need it. Our 4 exercises, we've got the bent over band rows, we got the banded good morning, we've got that band floor press, and then the goblet style squat to our little boxer chair or what have you. Okay, show you from this side this time just for a little variety. I'm going to step on that band, get the appropriate amount of tension. I'm gripping it right there, I'm pushing the butt back. I'm bent over about a 90. If you can't get that low, no problem. This is fine as long as you're bringing those elbows right back and you're activating those lower lats and the mid lats. All right, big bracing breath. And from here, slow squeeze into the side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go right into those banded good mornings. A little bit of tension on there, right around the neck like that. I'm going to show you from the side this time as well. Okay, nice soft knees, pushing the butt back, getting tall. Neutral spine, knees soft, driving through the heels. Lift with the legs, that's how I want you to think about it. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Get yourself out of that band, dropping down for those floor presses with the band as well. Okay, so looping around the back there, tucked underneath the elbows or whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, I prefer it this way, about a 90-degree angle, the upper arm to the torso, back flat on the ground, core tight, and press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, last one. We got the goblet squat. Okay. You're gonna get your weight goblet style. That's a dumbbell, kettlebell. Doesn't really matter. It's all good. Elbows tucked in. You want to find your squat stance here. That stool is right there behind me where I can sit right down to it. Pushing the knees out. Always pushing the knees out. Driving through the heel primarily, but I got the big toe and the little toe in there too. They're clamping down, using that whole foot. That's 4. Core tight the whole time, spine is neutral. That's 6. That's 7, and I am sitting right back on that, you'll notice. That's 8. 9. 10. All right, a little breather here, and we got one more round of all that. If you want to make this stuff harder and you're limited by the equipment that you have, which we all are to some degree, you can adjust the tempo of certain exercises. So you could, for example, let's say you're doing your bent over row here. You get up nice and fast, but then it's a slow lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just an idea if you want to make things a little spicier. Okay? Well, let's start from 10 here. Let's hinge back. Big bracing breath. Spine nice and neutral. And we're just squeezing those elbows right back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, right into the banded good mornings. Keeping those knees nice and soft. Narrow up that stance just a bit. All right, core nice and tight here. We don't want the ribs and the hips to come together because that means I'm rounding or arching in the back. I don't want to do that, all right? I want to keep this nice little distance here, okay? And I'm going to hinge back, push that butt back, drive through the heels, just getting tall. I'm not leaning back, I'm just getting tall. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we're down on the ground with that banded floor press. Oop, I got a little tangled up there. All right. Knees bent, big bracing breath, and pressing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And right into that goblet squat. Get yourself set up. I know we're going fast, but never rush the setup. You don't want to start an exercise if you're gasping, or if you're off balance, or if you're just plain real sore and need a few seconds for your muscles to recover, okay? Goblet style, core tight, sitting back, pushing the knees out, clamping down with those toes. Halfway there. Three more. That's 8. That's 9. That's 10. Sit back, relax. Little breather here. Then I'm going to throw a core finisher at you and follow along if you desire. My counting skills may be leaving a little bit to be desired today. I'm not really sure, but I feel like I got a bunch of those counts wrong. Doesn't matter. You all know how to count to 10. You can handle that part. All right, so core finisher today is going to be something that I call crazy planks. Basically, we are going to be holding forearm plank. We might also get up on our palms, so you will want a mat, some kind of cushion area. Carpet probably works too. And I'm just going to call things out, and we're going to do those things. Might be like raise a limb, raise your left arm, raise your right leg, go up tall, get back down, stuff like that. And yeah, it'll be simple, but not necessarily easy. We'll do a warm-up round first of about 30 seconds, then we'll do a longer round. Okay. All right, so let's start in that classic forearm plank. So here, we want to be nice and flat in the back. I don't want the butt too high. I want the butt down here. Once again, I want to think bringing those ribs and hips together nice and tight here in the core. I'm not hanging out on my shoulders. I got my shoulder blades protracted forward. Okay, so we're starting. Raise the left arm. Try to stay stable. Left arm down. Raise the right arm. This all might be mirrored, of course, for you guys, but just raise your right or left arm. Right arm down. Left leg up. Left leg down. Right leg up. Keep it up. Left arm out. Right leg down. Left arm down. Get tall. Come back down. And relax. So it's a little warm-up round. We are going to do that one more time, and we're just going to go for at least a minute. We'll see how it gets, how hairy it gets. All right. When you're doing the up downs, if we're doing more than one in a row, you want to alternate which arm you're starting with. That way you're not always like lurching to one side and then lurching back. You want to even out that load. Okay. 10 more seconds here, and we'll hit the final round of everything for today. You want to keep core nice and tight. It does help to sort of knit the lower ribs and those hips together. You want to think those things come together because that keeps you nice and tight in the core, and it prevents this from happening, which is that little arch in the lumbar spine that lets your midsection sag. You want to keep that midsection up nice and tight, tucking those ribs in. Okay? Let's get in that classic position. And go up. Back down. Up. Down. Left arm out. Right leg out. Right leg down. Left arm down. Right arm out. Left leg up. Keep it up. Right arm down. Left leg down. Get tall. Left arm out. Right leg up. Left arm down. Right leg down. I kicked the table there. Left leg up. Right arm out. Left leg down. Right arm down. Get low. Right leg up. Left arm out. Stay here. Right leg down. Reach over. Social distancing high five. And that is it for today. Thanks for joining me, folks. Now it is time to stretch and foam roll and cool down and get protein and all that good stuff. And if you're watching on Instagram, thank you for joining. If you are watching on YouTube later, please like and subscribe for more. I'll be back tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that. And until then, take care. Thanks.